biggest concern for where we're going is that we end up in this halfway point where things are half decentralized, but it's also running a lot on centralized rails. And you end up in a situation where you've just made financial surveillance 10,000 times easier.
Hi everyone, we're here at ETH Denver 2022 and we're with Layne Haber from Connext and we're super excited to be chatting with you. Tell me a little bit about what led you into Web3 and what brought you to Connext.
Yeah, so I think a lot of people have this really romantic story about how they got involved in Web3 and like some crazy experience happened to them where they know now the value of decentralization. I did not have one of those stories, but I happened to meet my co-founder through Arjun Baptani, through mutual friends, and was unemployed at the time. He was looking for a co-founder and had some experience in startups. And I had him send me a few articles about Web3, and for whatever reason, it just clicked for me. And I was like, well, I totally see how this is important and like the potential of this technology. So I'm game to give it a college try. And originally, we wanted to do a much more consumer-facing product, and then CryptoKitties happened, and then we decided we should like invest in scalability research. So we did like payment channels and worked on state channels for a while, and then rollups came out, and we realized that there would be a problem with liquidity silos in that type of environment, so we started working on building interoperability protocols.
From your experience so far, would you consider yourself an optimist in the space?
I'm definitely optimistic about the potential of the technology, but I do recognize that it could easily go poorly and we could end up in a worse off state than we are right now. But I think I'm an optimist because I've been through some bear markets where I see how committed people are to like the true ethos of Web3 and like the values that kind of spurred it on.
Yeah.
So I think when you have that many people who are that committed to the core cultural values, it will go in the right direction.
And what do you think is the most important thing we keep in mind as we go in that direction?
Mostly that it's not a given that it'll turn out well. You have to build these systems with intention, and like the decisions that you make are the decision calculus is very different when you're building for like protocols that will be around for 10, 20, 50 years versus like, okay, well I can change this in the next 3 months or something. 6 weeks from now, I think you'll or 6 months from now, let's say, I think you'll see a lot more of these rollups come to fruition. You'll get a lot more focus on the interoperability side versus just the scalability side. But in 5 years from now, I think you'll end up in a situation where all of this is completely abstracted from the user.
Yeah.
Like right now, you don't really have a user experience where it's intuitive. And like we still are at the point where we're demanding that users change their behavior instead of like building solutions that fit users' needs right now. And I think in 5 years that will be a thing of the past. There should be no reason why you as an average user of these systems need to know anything about bridge security. That's completely ridiculous.
Yeah.
But right now we're not at the point where that's an okay thing because you could lose so much of your funds if you don't know about bridge security.
Right.
And like that can be extended to seed phrases, private keys, like how to properly store them and back them up, all of these things. I think the next thing that'll come up that'll be big will probably be DAOs. I don't think they've had their shining moment yet, but I think that they're on the list.
Thank you so much for being here with us, and it was so lovely to chat with you, and hope to see you in another conference soon.
Yeah, definitely.
Amazing.
Yeah, of course.
That was so awesome. You are such a badass.